Almost a century ago, immigrant workers settled near the smokestack industries along the east side of Toledo's Maumee River. They were Hungarians, Slovaks, Italians, and Moravians. They built a neighborhood that worked and called it Birmingham. Much of that industry is gone now, and Birmingham, as a multicultural, multiracial community, is fighting for its life. Since 1974, the neighborhood has celebrated its battles and its victories with an annual ethnic festival on the streets of Birmingham.
It's a great joy and privilege for me to declare that the 11th annual Birmingham Festival is over.
Father Harnadi, what do you think of as the major challenge to the community?
Well, the major challenge of life is to survive. And I think that's the challenge we accepted by trying to plan for the future.
Very often, especially in the history of American neighborhoods, it's things like this line right here that kill neighborhoods. This is a highway, which destroyed neighborhoods all over America when they brought highways through neighborhoods. There was a proposed extension of a highway right down this street in front of the office, right through the heart of the Birmingham neighborhood. The people that related to the neighborhood saw clearly the danger that this represented and stopped the trucks and created a political movement in this neighborhood that said this far and no farther, that said we will not accept the concept that a road planner decides whether a neighborhood lives or dies.
It was not for the neighborhood people or the children in school. It was for the truckers, for industry. It was to be a 4-lane overpass, not a 2-lane, and as a result, the 4 lanes would have annihilated our neighborhood. It would have cut a swath through on Consall Street that would have, in effect, been the beginning of the end for us. First, we had a load limit put on Consall Street. The police didn't acknowledge that, didn't enforce it. The 2 signs were at either end, but nobody enforced it.
My son had a walkie-talkie, and one of us would get there on the corner front Consall. We seen the trucks coming in, and the ladies and the children was on the sidewalk. Mr. Kinsey and myself was very instrumental in that. And as they were coming, I would notify them that here they come, and as soon as they turned the corner, they blocked the street.
And then we flagged the truck down, then immediately somebody with their car got behind the last truck, the truck couldn't back up.
Finally, we joined forces and physically stopped them. The women and children held hands and stopped the truckers. Just walked across the street and stopped them.
Started out with about 20, 30 of us, but I would say it was pretty close to 250 people here before it was all over. Everybody from the neighborhood came out. And, of course, they were surprised, but they learned the lesson. They learned we meant business on Consall Street.
I had worked at some length trying to make the overpass become a reality, and so we finally got what we refer to as State Issue 1 monies in order to build the overpass, and all of a sudden everybody says, stop, we don't want it anymore if you're going to have trucks on it. Well, You know, I think in this particular case, while we don't have the overpass, we do have a neighborhood that wouldn't exist today had we allowed that to continue forward. But it was a tough pill for me to swallow after having worked so hard to get the overpass.
What made you change your decision, though?
Well, you mean change my decision about going ahead with it?
Yes.
Well, basically, I thought that Father Hernati was right. He was absolutely right.
This was the first time, I understand, in the history of Toledo that an existing plan was changed by people. I just couldn't see that they would destroy something which is precious to us.
You used the word they many times. Who are they?
Downtown and we, okay?
The East Toledo Community Organization was formed after that initial battle in Birmingham. Stopped the trucks and stopped the road. There was an effort to organize beyond that issue on other issues of concern in Birmingham, which spread to the whole East Toledo community.
Is there anything left of that enthusiasm?
It's always here. It doesn't show till a crisis comes. It has to be some kind of a crisis. In other words, you get another 100 trucks down here tomorrow, you'll see the same thing again. I'd guarantee that within an hour. The word of mouth gets around fast. They'd all be here again. If them trucks came barreling through here again, and it would be another police matter, because we don't want that in our neighborhood no more. We're too used to this now to have it peaceful.
I've watched the Birmingham neighborhood grow and develop and change over 2 decades now, and I think probably the most important development that I've seen is the self-consciousness on the part of the people who live in that community about their own desire to have a better future.
Make way for the parade, please.
They're so friendly. East Side is God's country, really. I come here because I like this ethnic atmosphere. It's good neighborhood.
The roots are here. Maybe the people stay here, but the roots are here because it keeps bringing back the people.
Do you live in Birmingham?
Yes, well, my mom lives here too. I used to live here a while back, but it brings me back, and I'm not Hungarian.
I lived in New York, and the hustle and the bustle and the crowds and the noise and the carryings on, you don't find over here. I crossed the bridge, I just like, whew, I'm glad to be back over here.
I found when I started coming into the neighborhood how close everybody was and how aware of their heritage they were and their ethnic background and the tightness of the family and everything that they did together.
They hung around with everybody, and they still hang around with everybody.
They're related to everybody.
They're related to everybody.
These people like you right from the start.
Or they don't like you right
Or they don't like you right from the start.
True. That's
I mean, they're
make it with them.
They're
either gonna accept you in, or they're gonna.
My first Christmas, when I came here, his father met me at the door and thanked me for dating his son. I thought,
Hey, no, wait a minute.
what is wrong with this guy?
This guy told you that last night. Hungarian's got something money can't buy. this neighborhood has something very unique to offer. I originally grew up in the West End. There is no cohesiveness that I see there compared to what's here. And I have become Hungarian because I've lived here. And it's something that I am very thrilled with, and I'm thrilled that my children are able to be in a community in which they have all types of people that they need to associate with.
Hey, here's some upouts on it. Take it down to the guys there. Pass it down.
We felt slighted here.
Hey. Well, bring some more bread.
The Birmingham residents get first
Bring
dibs,
some more.
and then
Hey.
those of you who've left
Hey.
the neighborhood already.
Take it down, Joey. Head up, boy. Pass it down. Ez a legjobb város, ahol van az egész országban. Igazán. Voltam, I was all over this country. I'll take Toledo, #1. Takes you 5 minutes to come in, 2 minutes to get out.
But why in this neighborhood?
Napkins would you put? Huh? Why?
Yeah.
Right above your head. I think it's the best town in the country. Really. Toledo's wonderful. A lot of Hungarians living here.
You guys want me to get in here?
To keep up the custom, the Hungarian custom. And I believe in that 100%.
But is that being an American?
Yes.
Why?
Because
Hungarian American.
they were Hungarian and they applied to be American citizens. They bore us as kids today.
Yes.
We're all citizens. In fact, the Hungarians even... I lost 2 brothers in World War II. What are you talking about? Okay? Americans. They wanted to be Hungarian Americans. That's why they come to America. They built this country. No, on your egész. Okay? That's it.
Yeah,
But what?
Of course, we received our resources and our heritage from the old country, but we built a new one. We formed the whole ethnic spirit according to our mentality. So we are American ethnics. We are American Hungarians.
See, everybody see how pretty that is? See, when you guys dance in the senior group, you'll get to wear it too. When you do the bride dance. We're still doing the bride dance. Okay, thank you very much.
Imre, Baba, were both of you born in the United States?
Baba was born in Budapest in Hungary.
How would you define yourselves?
Very clearly, at this point, for me, American-Hungarian.
Very clearly Hungarian.
American, yeah.
So American, Hungarian, Hungarian, American?
Yes.
Very conscious, very proud of, very supportive of our roots, doing our best to share our traditions, our language, our background with our children. part of our challenge is, Lutzi, as you say, to slow the process of people forgetting, of people becoming distant from their roots, from their backgrounds.
When did you begin this dance group?
We began the dance group, I think it's 4 years now. Anybody know? 3 years. I think it's 4, it'll be 4 years in May. It has to be because Shadow will be 4 next month, yeah. 4 years in May.
Why do you come to dance?
It's fun. It's fun, yeah. See new places, new things.
Once the older ones are gone, there's not going to be anybody else to go on. So we might as well learn it so we can keep it going and pass it on to our kids. And
why is that important? It's our heritage. We're proud of it.
Proud of it.
Why?
Right.
Just weird. I don't know.
We don't need a reason to be proud of it. We're proud.
Every one of these items were brought back from Czechoslovakia at one time or another. And I'm proud of them because it's part of our heritage. How would I define myself? Well, it's hard to say. Probably ethnic American, Moravian American. Those are about the same, aren't they?
You think you can be loyal to two things at the same time?
I do. I will always like our music. I will always like our dances. I will always like our language. There isn't all these things, these beautiful things that you see. I'll always like them.
I would like to welcome all of you to St. Stephen's Church on this special night when we celebrate the traditional Hungarian Christmas. About 100 years ago, some people brought this here. They came here with their faith, with empty pockets but full of hearts. And tonight is a proof that the second, third generation kept the faith.
What role do you play?
Second pastor.
Második pastor. Second pastor.
I'm the third pastor.
Let's have a little practice. Okay.
Dicsérem Jézus, jó, hogy így találok, épp teged keresztlek, mert magamon lenni, megvalom, hogy félek. Olyan csak szalatom. Talán kenyen is fajtásaid, odakray el is fajtám. No, a little bit. I can pick out some words.
What do you think you were saying?
I'm giving a greeting to Jesus, and I'm offering him some presents and saying, glad you're here.
I'm speaking to him because he comes in and out of the fields and he's...
Remember your line?
Yes.
Édes Jézuskám, eljöttem te hozzád. Hoztam neked aranyat, törmét és mirhát. Kívánok mindenkinek boldog karácsonyt. At this time, I would like to wish everyone a Merry Christmas on behalf of all of us here.
The old timers all gone. Look, half of them don't even know how to speak Hungarian or don't even understand Hungarian. When you don't speak it, read it, write it, understand it, fluently, forget it.
First the language goes, then people disperse, the traditions are gradually put aside.
It's too bad that part of becoming American in the past meant losing your initial language, because we lost a lot of, we lost a real national resource there.
Birmingham and the ethnicity that occurs in Birmingham, the culture that occurs in Birmingham, is different from what's in Hungary or what's in Slovakia or what's in Italy. It is uniquely American. I think it's an American ethnicity, and it changes and it grows here. And for that to be able to grow and to nurture, you need a physical setting for it as well. The churches, the fraternal organizations, the bars, the stores, the places that people touch physically, that helps them to sort of register what they're all about, are very, very important to all of it.
Like you say, there used to be a bar on every corner. In Monarchies, that was like a second home. You know, everybody.
You guys were all born in the neighborhood, weren't you? All of you.
Yeah.
How long have you been, hanging together in a sense as friends and
even
all
each other, all life, kids. Grew up
Why?
together. I don't know, when you find good people, I guess you just stick together. We're all Hungarians and stick together. We play ball together, softball, basketball.
We do everything together.
We do everything together. We go out New Year's Eve, wives, girlfriends, Christmas, whatever. Yeah.
What about Monarchies? That seems to have been a place
That's
that
probably
sort of
what
been
keeps us all together.
hangout for everyone.
That's what kept us all together, probably.
It was a place where we get cheap beers and we didn't have to worry about free lunch.
Free lunch on Saturday.
Monk used to lay out sandwiches, and didn't take us young guys long to figure out that you can go in there and have a beer for 25 cents and a sandwich.
And most of the time we were just getting home at lunchtime, see, so we just stop in and keep right on going.
What's happening to Monks now?
There is no Monks now.
He's
Why?
closing the doors.
There used to be more places, all right? The Palladium closed, then they closed. Well, Monk's still open, but
You know, our kids probably will never have friends for as long as we've shared.
this is probably dying. What we're doing now is probably dying.
There used to be an A&P in this neighborhood. It's gone. It's now a residential building. There used to be 5 small corner shops. There are now 3. And one of them is partly a gas station, and one of them, so they're carryouts now. But as a place to work, live, shop, and worship, we're having difficulties. Without the jobs, an important part of the glue of the community of Birmingham is lost. Birmingham right now is probably on its 4th generation, or coming into its 4th generation of industry and of jobs. The first generation was iron, then from iron to steel, 2nd generation, then from steel to other manufacturing and large-scale agriculture. And now, I believe, with the failure of that 3rd generation and the clearing of the industrial area in Birmingham, we are poised on the edge of what could be either the death of the neighborhood or the beginning of the birth of the 4th generation of jobs and industry in Birmingham.
There's no factories around here anymore like there used to be. Like we had the U.S. Melville on Front Street, big complex. Knocked that down, they moved to Cleveland. There's the shipyard, always work, that's down. The Inner Lake, they just tore it all down. They just finished cleaning up the big furnaces there. Next door neighbor, the Gulf Refinery. It's all nothing but level ground. All that big refinery thing. You go down for the unit gas foundry. That's all down, no good. Pure oil is completely down. It's gone. Gone. What are you gonna do?
Well, the way I look at it is everything was deteriorated. They skimmed the cream off the top and they never put a penny back in. That was the whole downfall right there.
Do you think that happened in the other industries, Interlake and others along the way?
Yes, sure, the whole works. You could all the way from Millard Avenue down. You could see it right to this day.
I asked him, what kind of concessions do you want to keep us working? And he told me, he said, we don't want any concessions. It's closed. We don't even want to talk concessions. I said, regardless of what we'd give you? He said, no, it's closed, that's it. We're through talking. And that was it. And they left.
What'll happen to Birmingham if jobs don't come back to the riverfront?
Well, it's the same thing's gonna happen the way I look at it, like Ironville. If you know Ironville, all right, it's going downhill right now. You can see it yourself, can't you? You can see it.
As we passed the railroad tracks, we began to come into what used to be the Ironville neighborhood. Ironville, up until 30 years ago, had homes and churches, businesses, schools, very much like Birmingham. But in the 60s, it was torn down as an urban renewal project in efforts of drawing additional industry to Toledo. People in Birmingham neighborhood have never forgotten what has happened to Ironville, and they've sworn that they will not let it happen to their own community.
Many corporations around the world feel that it is to their advantage to locate abroad rather than in this country. And we are fighting a battle in this nation to ensure that our automotive industry, our machine tool industry, our steel industry, our footwear industry, our shipbuilding industry, the list just goes on and on and on, will still remain on American soil. This is a national battle. This is a battle Birmingham could never win alone.
Eventually, with industrialization, will, because of the waterfront and the access to the seaway and all that, I believe this neighborhood is doomed. Residential.
It's gonna happen, it's coming, you're not gonna see it, I'm not gonna see it, he's not gonna, but it's gonna be that way. It's gonna be all bulldozed down like Ironville. Look at Ironville.
Who's responsible, or who would be responsible for the bulldozing of Ironville? I mean, we had no idea. I mean, that was a viable community, and it went, and there was no responsibility.
It's still a waste because everything they tore down, there's nothing there now anyway.
And that was a separate community beyond. How we had nice fights with those kids. But you know, the other question that you didn't ask us was who would benefit if Birmingham did continue.
Do you guys think it's worth fighting for the neighborhood?
Yeah. But if we're doing all we can, I don't know.
How?
I don't know what you're fighting for anymore. It's like I said, what was there in the past doesn't seem to be there now. The old ones are dying out, the younger people are moving out. What is a neighborhood? Is it neighborhood people or is it neighborhood houses? What are you fighting for?
What do you think
what
a
are you
neighborhood
trying
is?
for?
Neighborhood's people.
I think it's people. I think it's a community.
That's what's kept us.
I think that's what a neighborhood is.
Then you're a part of a big family.
Yeah.
There are lots of Salasis all over the place. They helped to build this neighborhood in many ways, some but these Salasis. Where are they all? Any of them left in the neighborhood?
Your sister.
My sister just moved in the neighborhood. That's it. Everybody's gone. Everybody's gone.
Why did I stay? Because I bought into the neighborhood and this became my home. And I do everything possible because this is my home. You still have to have a turf. Whenever you want to translate the spiritual boundaries to someplace else, it doesn't work. When people pick up their stakes and we will continue someplace else, that doesn't work.
I don't know what Birmingham is anymore. You come back and you see the houses and you say someone who used to live there, and you see the person going in the door who's living there now and you don't know who they are.
No.
After all you said about the community, how important it is, who, if not the next generation of younger people like you, are going to make the difference?
Besides being Hungarian, that's right. We were given the American dream.
Who gave you the American dream?
Huh?
Who gave you the American
The
dream?
second generation who were embarrassed, I think, at times to be Hungarian, who learned diligently to speak English because they didn't want to have to speak Hungarian.
What's it mean to you? What's the dream?
I don't know.
Nice home, nice family,
Nice home.
comfort, better than what your parents did, and better for your children.
And you think
Pass
you can't?
something on.
And you think you can't get that in this neighborhood anymore?
I don't think so. My father keeps talking about how his father walked out of some godforsaken village in Austria-Hungary with no idea in hell where he was going, with just the clothes on his back, and wound up living in some place in Toledo, Ohio, just for a better life. So if he's got that kind of balls to do something like that, why should we be committed to where we are? If we see something somewhere away from here, something better for ourselves, for our families, why should we be committed just just for tradition?
Well, I think it should, I personally think it should be kept traditional, but I personally will not be here to live in it. I'll support it, I'll come to its functions, but I personally will not live in it because it's too close. If you live here, you live with your family. Because I know where my Uncle Joe lives, his son lives here, his daughter lives here, and his other son lives here. I mean, and we had lived here. We wanted to just more or less expand our own horizons.
How many people here still live in the neighborhood?
Oh, my family still lives.
No, but here actually lives here.
House
You guys
for
live
sale,
here?
If you want to buy a house, I can get a house. Give him a phone number, Buck. Give him a phone number and an address.
What happened to all these people that left Birmingham and moved out of here? Why the hell don't they move back here?
Well, you know
He was born and raised here, yeah.
I
He's
was
still
born and
here.
raised here. I won't move out of here.
There's no turn. The houses are too close. You know, I mean, they're just too close. We want like 5 acres, trees, no
But
neighbors.
you haven't got 5 acres. You haven't put yourself on space. All of you guys love Birmingham to visit, but you want to get away from
No, I think we love Birmingham because when we started here. Oh, yeah. You know?
to visit.
No, you know, it's,
People grow. They grow and expand and
Everybody that gets a couple bucks goes out there.
Yeah,
I can go out there. I prefer to stay here.
Here it is. Wait, Metal Bomb.
I can go out there. I don't have to have a mortgage on my house.
Damn, Lanky, we could come here for a $20,000 a year, but you know, there still is problem. I don't care if they're taping this thing Birmingham as a sparkling, you know, community, but there's still problems here. I mean, my nieces and nephews live right over here on Valentine. Their plants are missing, their chair. I mean, there, you know, this isn't the,
No, this is gonna.
the white knight.
We live right near an open area of Oregon where people can obtain new housing and larger pieces of land. So many would see that as a step to better themselves. So I guess is change of scenery, status, the suburban environment.
What do you think threatens the neighborhood most?
Greatest fear is if the absentee landlords. Those are the greatest detriment to any neighborhood. In my books, they are bad people. They milk the property, they milk the neighborhood. They don't have any conscience. They can destroy anything, and they pick up their money and leave.
We have 1,351 houses in our boundary line in Birmingham. In the last 2 years, there was 113 houses that had some form of work done to it. It was either decided to make it more attractive, it was either painted, they've had new windows put in, front porches redone, a lot of little things. And we as diehard Birmingham, diehard East Siders have got to just try to keep educating. And if you get your neighbor mad at you because you're complaining about it, to hell with them. They'll either come our way or let him get out. And that's the way I feel about it.
You have to have affordable loans in order for the people to renovate.
That's good.
You know, if a guy's unemployed and his eaves trough is falling off and he needs storm windows replaced, where's the priority? Putting bread on the table?
Yeah.
Paying the gas bill or renovating the house?
The big challenge is if we can make young people interested to take the homes. I always have one example in my mind, St. Louis, the Italian hills. People became so conscious and so determined to keep up the place, the turf, what I'm talking about, that they are almost in a line if a house is open.
Would anything bring any of you back here?
You big wave of people. We should, you know, if everybody would say, yeah, if we could all get together and say, we'd buy this house, fix it up. I mean, but isn't that reality?
Wonderful. They enjoyed it here. They really did. Not like today, like over here. The old timers would come in the yard here. My father would cut their hair. Maybe 6, 7 guys, and they're sitting on a bench, waiting their turn to have their hair cut. Man, they'd talk like till 6 o'clock at night. That was good. My father would cut their hair, maybe they'd give them a little schnapps, or they'd bring their own schnapps, and wonderful. It was good. But it died out.
Why did it die?
I don't know. I don't know. It shouldn't have, but it did. I don't know. It would have been nice if it had been, you know, like it was years ago.
What could have been done to keep it going?
I don't know. I couldn't tell you.
There's nothing wrong with East Toledo and with Toledo that jobs couldn't cure.
All of East Toledo has been working people all their lives, and they're hard workers. And by God, if they want a good day's work, I think East Toledo's worth that.
I really feel that if you don't get people from the neighborhood the jobs, then you might as well give up the fight to save the neighborhood.
There's a chance for great industry in here. And I think we were instrumental in waking up downtown to realize that they've got to come back to the east side. They've got to get an industry in here.
The Ironville neighborhood, the community of Ironville used to be right here, where Gulf Oil also used to be. And it's a major part of our industrial planning is to take advantage of what we have without having to expand that slash and burn style of industrial and community redevelopment.
Look, you ain't gonna stop progress, okay? The courts will come out, hey, you've got to move, get out. It's ours now.
No, it's not that way.
All right.
It's not that way.
Well, in other words,
First of all, half the money coming into the neighborhood for crying out loud is government money, and Uncle Sam says you can't do nothing unless you get the people together and let them tell you what they want or what they don't want. And that's just the way it goes. I don't care what you say.
it's coming, it's gonna be bulldozed down. Get out, beat it.
We can't forget Polk Town.
There's a master plan.
Yeah, you look up at Detroit. You have that factory still not built, but they tore down that church in that neighborhood. I wouldn't be surprised if there's not a plan either in somebody's file drawer or definitely in people's minds that since we're so close to the port, since Ironville was already cleared away, there's just a little bit between here and the expressway. What other site in Toledo for a nice continued industrial area?
I think that there are ways that one can accommodate industrial development and residential development, and to do it very carefully so that you don't threaten a neighborhood. One of the problems with Polk Town in Detroit was that the decision was made downtown and no one in the neighborhood was organized for anything. I don't think that's the situation in Birmingham at all.
In the neighborhood, a lot of bars have disappeared, and we've always wanted to have a bar, so we thought we'd try to do our best towards getting one and carry on, you know, with our friends.
You said money is a factor.
Well, investment for the family. See, I'm married, I have 2 kids, and it's a long run investment for myself. John is single, and you know.
Met my husband 10 years ago at this bar. This bar right here, we met each other. Me and this Cindy, we were sitting here one night, and my husband came in here. And we met. We bought a house 6 years ago, kitty corner here, and you know, in June, you know, we bought the bar, and it's like a soap opera, really, a romance all come together. You meet in one place, you buy a house, and you know, 6 years later, you buy a bar, kitty corner from the house that you grew up in. You know, we used to come in here all the time.
We were going to buy the bar, and we were going to George's Flower Bar. We were going to buy that, Securicas, and it just never worked out.
Where does a kid come up with money like? Oh, now this was 15 years ago. You know, we're in our early 20s, and
we just wanted a place to hang out and have softball teams and fish fries and.
So if the opportunity was there, would you do it now?
Yeah. If we can get enough guys to
Well,
go.
here, let me pour you another drink, because you'll buy Monarchies right now.
No, wait a minute. No, we didn't buy anything. We didn't buy anything. We didn't do anything.
We really made
We goofed up with Monks, I
With
think.
Monks. We really
Monks
made
is
a
a mistake the rest of our life will pay for, I think.
I think so too.
You're talking about coming back, and coming back and having a few beers in a bar. Is that allegiance to the neighborhood? What is it really? What is Birmingham? Is Birmingham not in a state of transition like everything else? Does it always have to be a Hungarian neighborhood? And as Bill was saying, there's new families starting out. It's a new neighborhood. There's new people coming on. So what is Birmingham? And 10 years down the road, what's gonna be the situation then? If there's new people coming in, and the churches don't make it, or if they do make it, and then you get the situation in Ironville. What would happen if they would bulldoze a Birmingham neighborhood? What would really be the effect at that time?
We'd probably just come and sit in a car and drink, like on a corner, like it was months or something. No matter what happens, we're gonna come back as long as the places are open, and we can all meet together. We'll be back. But as far as it surviving, I don't know. I don't know.
It's strange how you never know, but we both got what we asked for. Such a long, long time ago. She was gonna be an actress, and I was gonna learn to fly. She took off to find a footlights, and I took off to fly. And there she's acting happy inside her handsome home. And me, I'm flying in my taxi, taking tips and getting stoned. I go fly so high when I'm stoned. She was gonna be an actress, and I was gonna learn to fly. She took off to find a footlights, and I took off to fly.
You know how bad our vacation was? Eddie even said, "Can we go to the bakery?" And that's how bad it was.
Yeah.
What are the kinds of things that you sell here?
Well, it's mostly
Baked goods.
yeah, bread products.
Bread, noodles, nuts, anything, or papa seed jelly, minden van itt Pesten.
How many generations have been involved in the business?
1, 2, 3.
The butcher shop, the bakery, the hardware store, one of the bars in the neighborhood, all of them have had a generational change. Younger people, all from the community, have taken those stores and those businesses over and now trying to make them go as part of the community.
I've been in business for the last 2 years in the neighborhood, and I know all the people in the neighborhood from being here all my life. And we always liked the business and the quality of the meats, and it's established, and I thought we'd make a go of it.
My business is only going to be as good as I make it. We've been open for about 2 weeks now, and we do all sorts of arrangements for all occasions.
The whole neighborhood outlook is just looking better to me, I think. I don't see anything negative. I see houses being painted. I see guys going back to work. I see kids growing up and getting into school.
If you go up and down the street, you'll find that it's people that's lived here forever, will never move out. So I think the neighborhood's going strong.
Leave the bone in, I like the bone. Very good.
That's what's unique about Birmingham from its very, very beginnings. It was a neighborhood that had a lot of ma and pa stores, and they survived because the people not only worked there, but they lived there, and they had a real interest in the neighborhood, and they wanted it to survive.
This building is going to be a showcase that proves that you don't have to tear down Birmingham in order to build a new community. You can build on the old. I think fixing in this building is a good example of what Birmingham can be about. That is the old and the new together. You don't have to tear it down and build a new fire station. You can do both. You can build a new fire station and take what you have and build on that.
And I think this is the start to try to help rehab the neighborhood.
First thing we did is plant flowers in the front of the building to let people know the place is still alive.
A lot of the young people are now moving back in, where their parents 20 years ago or in the 70s, 60s moved out.
We offer financial incentives in the form of $500 grants to young couples who come to Birmingham to buy their first home and make a commitment to live here for at least 5 years.
This brochure, there's a very positive thing that was done to promote the neighborhood. I think the fact that the realtors were insensitive to the type of neighborhood it was, and they were very biased in the way they presented property in the neighborhood. And I think you're starting to turn that around with this brochure.
Younger people have, we want to get out and get a nice home in a nice area. But yet we don't want to leave. Yet we don't want to leave this neighborhood because there's something here.
You can go any place in the world here around Toledo or anything. But when you move out of Birmingham, you moved out of family.
Kineka seme fegete.
Every year we have more and more of the embroidery showing in the neighborhood. With the vests, with the mothers making them for their sons, for their husbands. They have the shirts with the Hungarian crest with the flowers on them.
It's a beautiful custom, and I think it's a revival of a lost art.
It's the harvest dance, the Studentiba, that we have every September. And we're starting it off with a parade. Second year we're doing it now. It used to be held every year. In fact, I think up till the late 60s or so, and then it died out. And we bought that back last year.
I think a lot of third-generation Americans are realizing and appreciating the importance of their roots. And I think they want to know more about it. And I think Birmingham represents an enclave of something that's very special and represents an alternative to the plastic suburban experience. What we're trying to do is to teach, inform, preserve, I think cuisine, I think the folk dances, I think a number of Judy's activities in trying to preserve the language, I think the embroidery classes, I think the classes in dyeing the Easter eggs. I think the Bethlehemish play is still popular and it still continues, and it's there because the people want it to be there.
Why do I come back here?
Yeah, why do you come back here?
Because me, it's the greatest neighborhood there was ever any place in the world.
Why?
I was in a service, I understand neighborhoods, this is the best.
What are the things you come back here for?
Companionship, love. I like to see this neighborhood, my old neighborhood. I left 40 years ago. I love to see this neighborhood grow like it should grow.
They keep coming back because I think there isn't enough for them out there, that they're still looking for a cultural context, something to hold on to.
Birmingham community is a spiritual association, I would say. There are spiritual values attached to that. And anybody who was exposed to that and anybody had the courage to buy into it is going to be affected by it.
celebration of life, celebration of a lifestyle. We are very proud of it, and we open our streets and our hearts to everybody, and we welcomed everybody and want to show them how we live, how we enjoy life. Life is beautiful, and we want to give them a little taste of it. So that's the purpose of the festival.
If there are happenings, if there are events, then you open your doors and you let other people come in too, and let them buy into it, then that's a sign of vitality.
And why are we doing what we're doing?
Well, I guess I'm the one who most often talks about quitting and this is enough, because it gets harder and harder. But I guess down inside I realize it is important, and we just try to carry on, and hopefully after we leave, and there'll be others here in the neighborhood.
Why lose your nationality? Hey, I'm proud of my nationality. I'll speak at any place.
I got green.
When they don't like it, I say, I'm sorry.
I have green.
You don't have to listen. I'm
I
not
got green.
talking about you. Hey.
Why do you raise your kids as Hungarian Americans?
Oh, well, for us, for me, for them, I would never think of not raising them Hungarian. And, you know, it's our roots, and I would never consider not doing that.
And I still see a lot of nice housing here 30 years from now. That's going to be the pick of people, because they're going to want to live close to where the action's happening downtown. Those who work here may want to live closer. We're right at the center where people are going to be very interested in this, not only the housing here, but the property. And I think it's just a question of time. I think the pendulum is going to reverse itself, and we're going to be right in the middle of it.
We can't.
Good morning, everyone. We are here to celebrate the reopening of this yard. I'm here this morning to commend the cooperative effort that this represents, not only between the Port Authority and Henry Merce and the trade unions, but also the important role that the East Toledo Community Organization, ETCO, has played in anchoring the community and trying to develop plans for this side of the riverfront in the greater Toledo area in the years to come.
Let us pray. Blessed are you, Lord our God. We thank you for the rivers, the lakes, and the seas, especially in our Great Lakes area, and pray for all the men who sail upon them and are builders of their ships. Bless this rejuvenated shipbuilding facility and all the workmen who bring this place a job for all.
A little secret we share with our Slovak, our Polish, our ethnic brethren from all parts of the world may be found in the case of Hungarians in the national anthem that we've sung now for 11 years in a row here. I wonder how many know the words translated of that anthem. I'd like to share those today, and you'll see what the secret is. God bless the Magyar nation with a good spirit, with prosperity. Stretch above her your protective arms when she struggles against adversaries. It is misfortune that for long has torn her. Now bring upon her happy years. These people have already atoned for the past and for the future. Our faith in God, in large part, is what keeps us going. We ask the Lord to continue blessing our peoples, our brothers and sisters of other ethnic groups, our neighborhood, our city, our future.